Celebrating 30 years on the air on WROI is the first federal program. Hosts may have changed, but the program is still the same. Now continuing a long-standing tradition, streaming on the First Federal Facebook page and on WROI. It's time for the First Federal program.
And good morning, it is time for the First Federal program here on this Friday, July 18th. We welcome Tanner to the program. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Randy. How we doing?
Hey, not bad for a Friday. It got a little scary out there. It cooled off.
Yeah.
And in the middle of July, I'm not used to this. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, it's actually been pretty comfortable the last few days a little bit, but I think the humidity's on its way.
Yeah, I think next week, look out.
Yeah.
You know, time for school sports to get kicked off, and it'll be back.
Yeah, and we had some hot days this week too.
Yes,
I'm not saying it wasn't hot at all, but there
last night at the fair, I actually heard people saying that they were cold and needed to go get a sweatshirt.
Wow.
Yeah.
You don't hear that.
You don't hear that at the fair.
Yeah.
Those words do not usually happen at the fair.
Everything going good out at the fair?
It did. It was good night tonight. Now the auction, and then they start wrapping things up.
It goes by fast.
It does. It does. Tomorrow night they finish it up with the demolition derby. So
which is always fun.
It's been a great week.
Yeah, good deal. Good deal. Well, we had a good community appreciation day at the bank last Friday, so saw a lot of people.
Busy day.
Oh, yeah, busy day. Always a fun day. So thanks to everybody who came out, and thanks to all the First Federal family members that helped put on the event. I think it was a success. So
that's always a good thing.
Yes.
How many more? of throughout the.
Oh, how many more do we have to go? Yeah, we still have 4. I couldn't remember. I had to look at time.
Okay.
Like, how many have we had?
Not even halfway yet.
Yes. So we got, we got Bremen coming up on. That's the next one on August 22nd.
Okay.
Yes. And then we have Mishawaka and Elkhart the same day, September 12th, and then Winnemac September 19th. So.
That'd be a fun one over at Winnemac.
And Bremen as well.
Bremen,
Both branches have got a whole new look and feel to them. So
that'll be cool. That'll be good for those folks.
Yeah, it'll be fun events in all four of those branches, but particularly Bremen and Winnemac. Yes. Cool. We've got some trivia with me this morning. We have Rochester Athletic Director Cal Stone as our guest today. He'll be joining us momentarily. So I thought I'd bring some sports trivia with me today. And it's baseball season right now, summer. Got the All-Star break going on. So right now, Seattle Mariners catcher Cal Raleigh has 38 home runs. What catcher currently holds the record for most home runs in a single season?
Okay.
I'll give you 4 guesses, and you can think about it during the show. A. Johnny Bench. B. Roy Campanella. C. Mike Piazza. Or D. Salvador Perez.
All pretty good catchers in ourselves.
Yeah, all pretty good catchers. So, yeah. I'll give you a hint that they're all
in the top.
on the top 10. So, yeah.
Of course they would be.
But Cal Raleigh's having a heck of a year. Like I said, 38 home runs. I believe he has 90 hits right now. Probably wouldn't be the MVP though. If the MVP was decided, it'd probably go to Aaron Judge for the AL, I should say, because he's having a phenomenal year as well. Yeah. But he did win the home run derby last week.
That's a good start.
Yeah, good start. So, and the playoffs started today. It has changed a little bit since last Friday, not too much. Your division winners in the AL would be the Tigers, the Astros, and the Blue Jays. Your wild card teams would be the Yankees, the Red Sox, there's your change, and the Mariners. So the Red Sox knocked out the Rays. And in the National League, you had the Dodgers, the Phillies, and the Cubs, with your wild card teams being the Brewers, the Mets, and the Padres.
Hey, anytime we're still in the middle of July and you say the Cubs,
it's
a great summer.
Well, and the Brewers won't go away.
Yeah.
They're one game behind them. They just keep winning. But if you look at the schedule for the second half, I believe the Cubs have the 3rd easiest schedule remaining. Brewers 3rd hardest.
Good.
So it could
separation.
It could separate, but it's baseball. You never know. Of course, we're gonna see a lot of trades happen the next month. So
it'll be interesting to see what the Cubs decide to do here.
Yeah, I mean, I would think they'll be buyers. I think they need another pitcher or two for the long haul, but
it'll be interesting.
Driving me nuts over here talking about the Cubs.
I know. I was waiting how long it'd take you.
White Sox fan, Cardinal fan?
No, he's a Cubby fan.
Oh, Cub fan, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
he's a Cubby fan, so.
And so is Todd right here, he's
Yeah.
gonna jump in. Todd, anything to say about the Cubs?
Go Cubs. A lot.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, if you can say go Cubs in July, it's a good sign.
No, I'm going later today to watch Red Sox at 2:20. So you got
Oh,
me all
nice.
fired up right now. I didn't need any more fired up to go today, boys.
So that's a really good.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
That's great.
Well, as a Yankee fan, I'll be rooting hard for the Cubs today, so.
2 weeks ago, it looked like a great game to go to. Now all of a sudden, the Red Sox are the hottest team
Oh,
in
they're
baseball.
hot,
It's like,
yeah.
hey, you don't need to come to Wrigley.
Yeah.
Cool them off, please sweep
Yeah.
them. That'd be nice to start the second half and get them off the Yankees' tail a little bit. But the Yankees got the Blue Jays to catch now. But this happened last year at this point too.
Yeah.
Yankees started hot, fell back, and then they got hot again. So long season.
It's
ago.
baseball.
Long season. Ago. Can't count too many teams out other than the Rockies and the White Sox. Let's be honest.
The
Got
White
some-
Sox are getting pretty good at that right
and
now.
it's sadly, the White Sox are a lot better than they were last year.
True.
And they're a lot better than the Rockies right now. So, got some tidbits here this morning. On this day in 1743, the first half-page newspaper ad was published. That was published in the New York Weekly Journal. I wouldn't have guessed it was that early on.
No.
On this day in 1960, baseball's National League voted to add Houston and New York franchises, the Astros and the Mets. We've since seen the Astros go to the American League about a decade ago. On this day in 1968, Intel Corporation was founded in Santa Clara, California.
Wow.
On this day in 2013, Detroit, Michigan filed for bankruptcy, becoming the largest U.S. municipal bankruptcy ever at $18.5 billion. They've got out of that,
Yeah.
thankfully, over the years, and in much better shape now than they were 12 years ago. And on this day in 2015, PayPal spun off from eBay as a separate public traded company on the NASDAQ.
Interesting.
Now PayPal's got Will Ferrell in their commercials and doing just fine on their own,
Yeah.
I think. And today is Black Leaders Awareness Day. It's also National Caviar Day. Ever had caviar?
Never had it. No.
Yeah, me neither.
Doesn't
Todd?
interest me.
Nope,
No.
nobody in this room. Yeah, it doesn't look
No.
appealing to me.
Yeah.
So, World Listening Day, National Sour Candy Day. I told my wife last night, I'm a big sour candy fan. I told my wife, Natural Sour Candy Day, you should give me some candy. We'll see if she does. I doubt
You didn't
it,
wake
but-
up to any of these.
Didn't wake up to any, so. But I threw the pitch out there,
There
so
you
we'll
go.
see. Insurance Nerd Day, National Tropical Fruit Day, National Dapper Your Data Day. I'm not really sure what that means, but
Interesting.
Perfect Family Day and Nelson Mandela International Day.
Okay.
So,
Interesting days there.
yeah, I'm sure you can celebrate a combination of those sometime.
Yeah.
Money news, it's another good day yesterday for the Dow. Closed up at 229.71 points. It's 44,484.49. The S&P and NASDAQ closed at record highs
Oh.
yesterday. The
Awesome.
futures are up this morning, so all signs pointing good. We'll watch it today.
See what happens today.
As Mr. Dick Belcher always used to say, it's either going to go up or going to go down. So we'll keep an eye on it and react accordingly. In at the bank today, First Federal, we're open from 8:30 till 5, and tomorrow from 8:30 to noon. We'd love to see you at any of our 6 northern Indiana locations. And if you can't make it into any of our branches, you can always bank with us online and with our mobile app, which is free to download. No matter if you have an iPhone or Android, go to the Google Play Store or the App Store and type in FFSB, First Federal Rochester, First Federal Savings Bank, whole different combination you can type in there. Look for the white star and the green background, and you're halfway there. And our ATM's open 24/7 as well if you need some cash. And if you're traveling this weekend in an area we don't have an ATM, we're part of the MoneyPass network. So just type in the zip code you're in on moneypass.com. You'll find the MoneyPass ATMs. You can use any of those ATMs and you won't get charged surcharge fees. Works pretty well.
Yes, it does. Been there.
I've used it a time or two.
Yes, I have to.
And we offer simply free checking accounts and simply free business checking accounts. Right now, when you open up a new checking account, you get a free gift. You got an option right now. You got a neck fan, which has been really nice lately with the warm weather, or a First Federal Savings Bank cooler bag. So can't go wrong with that one either.
Take those cool
So
beverages.
either way, you can cool off one way or the
That's
other,
right.
I guess. And if you want one of those gifts, but you don't want to open up a checking account, there's another way you can get one of those, and that's just simply referring a friend. You can do that in person or online. When your friend comes in to open up the account, they'll get a gift, and you will as well, just for referring them.
There you go.
So tell them Randy sent you.
That's right. I get 2 friends and I get 2 gifts.
There, yeah, sure. Get one of each. See, that's why we got the options
That's
right
right.
now.
There you
take
go.
on one of each. If you're in the market to purchase a new home, you can contact Ben Dalton or Stacy Wilson at our Rochester branch, or Ryan Austin at our Winamac branch to get pre-approved today and see how they can help you and your family with your mortgage lending needs. We also offer commercial lending for businesses. Contact Zach Reuter for more information. His direct line is 574-223-1731. And if you're planning on retiring in the next few years, want to check on your 401k, maybe want to roll a 401k over from the previous employer, get our IRA going, those type of things, contact Mark Blueball or Brian Bell of our Financial Services Department for more information. They'd be happy to help you. Their direct line is 574-223-1705. And to stay up to date with the latest going on at First Federal Savings Bank, make sure to like us and follow us on all social media platforms. That's liking us on Facebook, following us on X and Instagram at FF Banking is our handle on those two. Liking us on LinkedIn and subscribing to our YouTube channel, which is really important to subscribe to that now more than ever. Now that Facebook changed their policy with live videos, they only stay housed on Facebook for 30 days now, and then they're gone. So we have a catalog or an archive, if you will, on YouTube of First Federal Radio shows dating back to 2018. So we're going to keep on doing that, so you can always go back. And you can also see majority of them on our Instagram channel as well, until Facebook finds a way to do something with that since they own Instagram. So, we are the only locally owned bank in Fulton County. We don't want to be the biggest bank, just the best. Borrowers must meet underwriting guidelines. We're FDIC insured and equal housing lender. And our NMLS number is 39927.
Makes us legal and ready for the fun part of
Yes,
the program.
the fun part of the program, which we welcome our guest this morning, Cal Stone, our RHS Athletic Director. Good morning, Cal.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Hey, thanks for joining me.
Here's the weird part. He's a pro at this,
Yeah,
but he's still not even been here a year yet.
that's a good thing.
I mean, but that's weird. It blows my mind. As much as I've talked to him, as much as going on, it hasn't been a year yet.
Well, it's all that experience I have on the radio. Come on
Is
now.
that what it is? Okay, well, that's a good thing, I guess.
Well, even though he's a radio veteran, I guess we
Yes.
could say. For anybody that might be listening or watching on Facebook that's not familiar with you, Cal, tell us a little bit about yourself and your background.
Yeah, absolutely. So I grew up in Apache, which I know is still hard for a couple people in town to wrap their head around. But yeah, my dad is actually still the athletic director at Wabash. He's been that staple of the TRC that loves to go back and forth. But when we get in those meetings, him and Tom Finnicle from Southwood, those are like the 2 dudes who have just been in the TRC forever.
Yeah.
We were just talking about Wabash hasn't been in the TRC forever, but it feels like it.
Yeah.
So.
It's still been, 17
Yeah,
years or
probably
so?
something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
But yeah, so I grew up in Wabash and then went to Trine University. There I did an internship for 18 months in Fremont's athletic department. So after I graduated in 2021, I moved back to Wabash, taught for a year, got to coach with my dad. And then that spring, I was named the athletic director at Fremont High School at just 23 years old. So 2 years at Fremont. And then it was time to move back home. I think my wife was tired of being so far away from her parents. She's a Southwood grad. And we had our first daughter, and we were pregnant with our son, and she was like, okay, it's time to get closer to home. So we started looking, and you guys get it, right? Rochester just kind of pops off the paper when you see that job's open. So Greg Martz was actually my high school AD for 2 years when it wasn't my dad. So I know last summer, as that job posting went through, the way it goes, he always was on the phone with me. Be patient, this job's going to be open, you're going to have the opportunity. And God just kind of made everything work on that one. All the timing worked itself out, and we were able to make everything happen. And year one, Randy got to hear it a little bit. It was interesting. We lived with our in-laws over by Southwood, which you tell everybody, like, yeah, my wife's from Southwood, and their first thing is, that's the worst drive in the conference. Thanks, I did it 6 days a week for 4 months.
At 10, 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah, it was great. You guys hate that drive on a Tuesday. Imagine doing it on Friday when we have a home football game. So it's a great time. But yeah, we made that work, and then we were able to move into town right before Christmas, which I think I came in here about a week after and looked at Randy, and he's like, "How's the move going?" And I'm like, "I'm exhausted."
I don't know what day it is.
Yeah, we moved here. The next day was Christmas. It was awful.
Yeah,
But
he guaranteed me he would be there Christmas Day, so,
yeah, and we got there Christmas Day. We had the Homeboys Northwestern basketball game on Friday. We hosted the McKee on Saturday. Then it was Sunday. Christmas Eve was Monday. Well, I was hoping we would get in Saturday. My wife could move some stuff here. Maybe get the keys on Friday so I don't have to drive all the way back. We didn't.
Never goes to plan.
Never. So, little known fact, I now feel comfortable telling people, I bought an air mattress that Friday night at Walmart and went and slept in my office because the thought of leaving Rochester at 11 o'clock to be back by 5:30 a.m. was awful. So I went and bought an air mattress and slept in my office.
I can vouch for that. He was blowing it up as I was leaving.
There's about 4 people who knew I slept there. I got home from the McKee, which, I mean, everyone here knows that's a beast of a day. And I finished packing up trailers. We moved in Sunday. We're gone all day Monday for Christmas Eve. And on Tuesday morning for Christmas, we're sitting in our living room, and I looked at my wife, and I was like, have I even slept? I have no idea. This is crazy, but being here now is fantastic, right? Living 90-second drive from the school makes my life way easier. I walked here this morning. I'm only a couple blocks away, so yeah, the transition's been great.
So what were some of the other things that made the Rochester job so enticing to you when it was over?
Growing up in the conference, you really get to know the conference opponents.
Mm-hmm.
You play them in everything.
Right.
Typically, they're in the sectional, which was the case for us half the time. So you kind of get a feel of what those communities are like, right? And when you talk about high school sports, everybody playing is going to take it serious, right? But how often is the community fully bought in? And so for me, like with Rochester, the big piece was my sister played in that 2015 Wabash game. My dad was coach, where they went to the Final Four. And after was the Valley versus Rochester game, right? It was the coolest day ever to be part of the TRC. And so, we finished that first game, and the Wabash people clear out. I'm the kid of an AD. We didn't leave, right? We're staying and watching Valley Rochester. And, you sit in the crowd, and you see all the Rochester people there. You see the way that the crowd's bought into that game. And I think that was the first time for me. It's like, okay, I think Rochester gets it. Mm-hmm. And I love Wabash, but I'm not 100% bought in that they get it all the time. And so you take another AD job. I went and coached some at Fremont too. You get to travel a different part of the state I'm not used to. And you see the difference in the communities, right? How often are they fully bought in? And with Rochester, it's a place that really truly cares. The support's always going to be there. And then you have those unique things not every small school has. Like how Randy's at every single one of our games, how most of our varsity games are on TV. Like that's not normal at a school our size. And so you kind of add all those things in. I already have the built-in relationship with Greg Martz. I get to work in the same conference as my dad. All those things kind of added up, and I kind of looked at my wife like, I'm not sure if there is a better landing spot for us. And so I can't say after being here for 1 year, I think that's definitely true. I don't know if the way I operate and the way Rochester operates could work better together. So it really just is. It just adds up to be that perfect combination.
And what has been some pleasant surprises to you now 1 year in Rochester that some things that you didn't expect and have been beneficial to you?
As crazy as it sounds, I knew the media for a small school was going to be crazy, but I didn't think they would actually be at everything, right? You kind of get used to that, okay, yeah. Like when I came here in high school, RTC and the radio were up there, but it's a conference game.
Yeah. And
then we're sitting here at noon of a matinee girls basketball game, and here's Randy and Steve coming in to set up, and I'm like, oh, they come to everything. like that kind of, and I think, talking to Joe McCarter once, I think he said it perfectly. Like our fans are so well informed. You have Val writing articles, you've got Randy doing everything pregame. All of our fans are either at the game or watching or listening, and they're reading articles afterwards. Like they know our schedule, they know our opponents, they know our kids. And I think that's something that has kind of surprised me a little bit. It's like, you know, Grandma walks in for the first time this season, and we're 6 games in, but she knows every final score. She knows what the box score has looked like. She knows this team probably better than I do. And so it's like, holy cow, okay, like we have some really informed and intelligent fans. And so it makes life a little easy sometimes, right? You know, when you have a football game and it's, well, why are we running up the score? We're not running up the score. You read all this week that we are really good, and so you know that we're gonna. And you also know how we operate, right? You know Schaefer's taking everybody out after the third. So like that kind of thing is just, it's been a pleasant surprise for me.
Speaking with Cal Stone this morning, the Rochester High School Athletic Director, and so first year overall, a lot of lessons learned. It sounds like a lot of experiences, but gearing up for year 2. What can we expect in the fall this year?
Some changes, right? Naturally. You know, I had a great conversation with my assistant, Greg Martz, the other day, and we talked about just that AD turnover. Big projects kind of got pushed to the side, and that's fair, right? You're trying to keep the day-to-day alive. A couple of those guys, it was their first AD jobs. For me, it's not my first AD job, but also I've grown up in this world, right? I mean, I spent so much time with my dad, I kind of know how this world operates. So I don't necessarily have to learn the day-to-day. And so we've been able to hit a couple of those big projects. So we've been doing some behind-the-scenes stuff, looking at possibly updating some scoreboards here in the near future. We just upgraded our event link package, which if you're a parent, the parent meeting that we're going to have, which we've never had a big giant parent meeting, there's another thing. I'm waiting on Nate Bashan from Europe to make sure we can finalize that date and I can get it out. But we'll have one of those this fall, and you know, EventLink is something that we've utilized in the athletic department. We have not had our community utilized like it can be, and so we upgraded that package, and I think we're about to take off with that. What EventLink has become capable of, no longer just scheduling, and for us, that's how we get all of our officials. Now we're going to be able to use that to kind of communicate with our parents better and be able to make it more team specific as well, not just from the athletic department. So that's going to be a major change that will hard launch at some point. And then the big thing that we're still working on, we're gearing up for, and hopefully we have it ready before that bell game, is we're going to start to offer some digital tickets. And I'm not crazy. I know we'll never go full digital. I would never do that. I hate when we go to schools and it's full digital, right? I want the cash option, and I sign in at the gate. So we're going to be able to work on that and have a hybrid model. So I've worked with EventLink this summer, make sure we've got card readers, make sure we've got iPads that work, make sure I understand how all this money's moving around so I don't get confused. But you know, nowadays, and it's more prevalent as an AD when the guest schools come.
Sure.
But to be able to offer that, you know, you come to the game last second from work, and you know your kid's JV football game starts at 5:30, and you got off at 5, and you race over here still, and all of a sudden you're patting your pockets, and you don't have $6, right? You've got 3. I want you to be able to still get into the game and not have to drive home. So to be able to set up the digital ticketing, I think will be absolutely huge. And then the other big thing is I was kind of challenged to work with our booster club and get that back to its heyday. Where they were really giving, and so we've worked really hard. We've got some new faces in that booster club, and this fall they're going to launch their biggest fundraiser. Right, they've kind of had some small ones like selling the zebra chains for kids and stuff, but we've put together a pretty neat idea with the reverse raffle, and they're going to have their large fundraiser, and if it goes like we think it will, we'll be able to spend a lot of money on the kids, and that's the way I look at it, right, is we need to raise money so we can spend it on the kids. And so I believe it's August 2nd, they're having their reverse raffle at the Moose. They've had so many items donated. I think when I talked about, like, hey guys, we got to see what we can get donated so we can make a little bit of money, I thought maybe we'd have like 6 or 7. I got to scroll on that page of things that have been donated. Like, it's unbelievable. And you look at some of the stuff, like Kurt Signetti signed football, Tom Izzo signed basketball, it's like, who got that? But I'm not going to ask questions, right? Yeah, we're going to make some money, and I can be able to spend it on the kids. So I'm really excited about that as well. Like, the first time I sat in our booster club, it was like a we can give once a semester kind of thing as we take in our dues. And it's like, well, let's try to make a little bit more money and see what we can do here. You know, you talk to some other schools who, you know, have those well-oiled machines, and we had just so much turnover. There's no other way to describe it with the Booster Club. You start talking to people, well, who was president? Well, this person, this person, this person, this person, and that was in the last 3 years. What? Okay, so kind of hammer that down and get a good core in there. And so if this works, hopefully it becomes a staple that we can do, over and over again. I think they've kind of talked about maybe every other year because it's, it's a big event. It takes a lot of time, but to be able to do some more things and spend money on the kids, that's what I want to do. So it's exciting.
Yeah, looking at the fall sports, is there any new head coaches this year for fall, or everybody back?
No, we do have some new faces in there. So, I would say we've got the majority for this fall back, but we've got, off the top of my head, I think 3 new faces for the fall. So Dan Bailey, not a new face, right? He's been around, but he has taken over for Chad as our girls golf coach. I'm really excited about that. Before we hired Dan, Oscar, right, whose daughter obviously plays golf, so he's gotten to know Dan even better through that. But he told me, he's like, man, Dan's got his stuff together. Just you wait. And I'm like, well, he's taking over for Chad. Like, Chad had his stuff together too. I don't know what you're talking about. Man, Dan is on top of it. Like he is ready to rock and roll. He's got his team store open right now, and I think some stuff looks really cool. I know there was one girl who was like, who designed that? I don't care, it looks good. But Dan's all over it. And then Troy Pryor is now back as our cross-country coach. I'm really excited about that. Troy did a phenomenal job the last 2 years at our middle school, building our numbers back up. I know when I was in school, Rochester cross-country shows up, and it feels like it's a small militia that's like marching into this Saturday event. And so I think Troy's starting to get that back. When I knew Troy was the right pick, it is January, and I walk out of my office, obviously no one's outside, and there's like 30 kids running the halls, and I'm thinking, what basketball or wrestling team got yelled at and has to go run the halls? And I start walking around and like, this is the cross-country team. And I go, and Troy had like 25, 30 kids there in January running around the hallway. Like, okay, he's just going to do the same thing up here. So I think our numbers are almost double already, and we haven't even had our first practice yet. So I'm really excited for what Troy's going to do with cross-country. And then Kyle Reinhardt is our new boys tennis coach. Kyle, fresh out of college. It only took one conversation. I thought I was going to have to do some persuading there, but it only took one conversation. We got Kyle, but tennis is one of those things. I don't want to sound negative or anything, but it was just kind of one of those where we didn't have a lot of returning numbers. We were a little concerned what would happen. Didn't have a coach for the longest time. Kyle just got approved in the beginning of July. He's had 3 or 4 open courts now, and our numbers look really good, so I'm excited. He's got Andrew Dunwoody helping him. So when you got all that youth out there leading the kids, right, the kids are excited about it. Yeah, we're getting some numbers back up, so I'm really excited to see what they can do with the tennis program. My expectations of where tennis was going to be from a month ago to now are already drastically different. I'm really excited. So, yeah, a couple new faces this fall, but some returning ones as well. So we've got quite a few who have been here for a while still. So it's a nice little mix.
So I got one more question for you. I noticed there's been a trend in the state of Indiana the last few years adopting some new sports. Mm-hmm. One of those in particular off the top of my head is boys volleyball. You see that being on the horizon in Rochester in the next couple of years by chance?
When you look at some of those, and I'll just speak in general, there's boys volleyball. They just added girls flag football. What's the other one they just added? Oh, lacrosse. For us at a small school, it's kind of how healthy are our numbers and everything else right now. And so we've been asked that question a lot for a couple of those. And so the big thing that I've tried to explain to everybody on that is I want to make sure our numbers are healthy now before we go and add something and potentially, kill something else. Mm-hmm. And not saying that if we added boys volleyball, it would go and destroy something. But, we kind of look at last spring, baseball numbers are healthy. Track numbers are phenomenal. Golf's okay. So it's kind of one of those where if we see that trend for a while and you have the want, right? That's the other part. Talk to one school. I don't want to throw them on the bus, so I won't say a name. But you talk to one school this spring, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we had one kid come in the office and he pushed, so we added." And there was 2 kids at the first day of practice.
One kid.
Okay, yeah, that scares me, like that kind of thing. Yeah. And I haven't heard those stories yet of killing any programs, which is really good. Adding opportunities is what it's all about. But for us at the small school, I do get a little nervous of both of those, right? Of like, okay, I get 30 kids at the first day of boys volleyball, but then baseball has 15 and track has 21, and I just kind of murder them. Like that kind of scares me a little bit. So, but we've kept our eye open. I know we've had people talk about the girls' flag football.
Yeah.
It's a unique one when the Colts are throwing money at you. It's easy to see those dollar signs and be like, oh yeah, we'll pick that up right away. But again, you've got to have the numbers. And I know there was another school our size that I talked to who they just went for it, and they got 12 girls out. Well, that's great, but if 2 sprain their ankles, here you go. Like your numbers still aren't great, and it took away the freshman volleyball team. So, it's just those things you got to be weary of. You know, if we were the size of a Plymouth or a Logan Sport, we probably already have them. But we've just got to kind of do our due diligence. So our numbers are healthy, and I think if that kind of keeps up the next year or two, it could potentially be something we start to talk about.
Yeah. Well, Cal, congratulations on all your success in the first year at Rochester.
Thank you.
Looking forward to much more success coming up in the 25-26 sports season.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Yes, and you can participate in this trivia question along with Randy here. Like I said, Cal Raleigh said 38 home runs so far at the midway point catcher for the Seattle Mariners. Currently, what catcher holds the record for most home runs in a single season? Johnny Bench, Roy Capanella, Mike Piazza, or Salvador Perez?
I'm going to go with Piazza.
Now, see, I want to go Piazza, but didn't Perez just lead the AL in home runs like 3 years ago? And that makes me feel like if he led, or maybe he didn't lead it, maybe he was second.
So you follow baseball better.
My mind went to Piazza before he even gave me any options, but then he said Salvador Perez, and I remember that he was up there. I mean, Raleigh's just doing it because he has a great first name, but I'm going Salvador Perez.
Piazza.
Perez. He had 48 in 2021.
See, he follows it closer.
Now Piazza is by far the all-time leader for catchers.
Okay.
I think he had many different seasons, 35 plus. But Perez had the hot season in 2021. And Cal should, as long as he stays healthy, he'll abolish that, I think, this year.
Oh, yeah.
It will close with some words of wisdom by Josh Billings, who is an American comedian. Life consists not in holding good cards, but in playing those you hold well.
Awesome. Cal, thanks for joining us. Tanner, thank you. Have a great weekend. We'll talk to you next Friday.
We'll be here. Thanks.